Hi, everyone. Okay, this is your scope for the week of the 9th through the 15th. And I'll only really be concentrating on the full moon as I have the chart up for the full moon in Leo. There are a couple of aspects that are triggering this full moon. So I'll be discussing that in brief, and then I'll go through each sign. So let me just change screens. Okay, sorry. So yeah, this is your weekly scope for February 9th through the 15th. And like I mentioned, I will be only concentrating on this full moon and a couple of aspects that trigger this full moon. Um, because the week is dominated by the two aspects that trigger a full moon in Leo. So this is called the full snow moon in Leo. It is falling on February 12th, early in the morning at 24 degrees 5 minutes. Excuse me, sorry about that. Oh, and also my pug is really close to me and he's snoring, so you might hear that. And I just don't have the heart to like push him away. Um, so yeah, it's called the snow moon because February is typically the snowiest month, usually in the U.S., and we do have a couple of storms coming in hard and fast, back to back. So yeah, we're gonna have a lot of snow in the north, northeast, and definitely a lot of rain. I think mainly in the southeast. So be careful out there, okay? Um, so yeah, we have right away today Mercury in Aquarius squaring Uranus in Taurus. Oh, by the way, I just wanted to mention natally, Leo does rule the fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and gambling. This is the house of fun. It's a light romance, true love. It's not really a contractual house like the seventh house of partnerships. Um, and then, like I mentioned, Mercury in Aquarius will square Uranus in Taurus. Now, Aquarius is natally the house of groups, friends, and your visions and hopes of your future, where you want to be in the future. Taurus natally rules the second house of job, income, and value system. And they're both fixed signs, so change is usually really difficult for fixed signs. And this square, so there's so there's some kind of a discussion, debate, thinking regarding your Aquarius related house um, that is squaring something of a security issue or money or a job or values. Our value system here is getting somehow triggered, and it is about freedom and control, breaking free of control, because Uranus is all about um, no controls. It is all about freedom. Um, so this can also be something like if you ever like wondered or thought about how you could pursue um, that's that really nice job that you want, or you want to be financially independent, or something about your values, but you really didn't. You hesitated because of security issues, or maybe being fixated or stubborn about something. Um, Here on the 10th, there is discussion uh, that is triggering that dream that you want, that freedom that you want to break free of some kind of control. And it's really saying don't really worry too much about security. That will come. That will come. The genius of Aquarius and the how can I say this? The mercantile of Mercury and the genius of Aquarius will take care of the security issue. But what's utmost important here is breaking free and pursuing what you want. Now, on the 10th, the moon in Leo does oppose Pluto in Aquarius. So the moon is emotion. So there's some kind of um, pride or nurturing feeling that has a fear about the future, some kind of a fear about the future. And it sits well with like what Mercury is trying to do with Uranus and Taurus. Mercury is the discussion, like I mentioned, the talk, the thinking, and then right after it's the feelings we have internally. Um, so yeah, we're thinking of something and wanting it to happen. Mercury is instigating something that gets Uranus triggered. And on the next day, the sun this time in Aquarius will square Uranus and Taurus. So now the sun is illuminating for you and others to see maybe a way forward, or illuminating the discussions, and we like see in our mind's eye what it can be like to be free of this um, security issue that we may have. And then right after that, Ceres will conjunct Mercury in Aquarius at 25 degrees. So yeah, the discussion, debate, the excitement, the arguments that we had, and then um, maybe our feelings or our pride um, was somehow coming up to an opposition because of fear. of the future. Um, and then here, series, if there was an argument or heated debate and an abrupt um, shift, series is coming in to smooth it out with some kind of a compromise. Because series is that's my pug, by the way. I don't know if I mentioned that, but he's super close to me today, and the mic's gonna pick up his snoring. Sorry. Um, yeah, so series wants to is going to help us with a compromise here um, regarding whatever discussion that was triggered. And then on the 12th, then we do have the moon in Leo square Uranus and Taurus. So first the moon in Leo opposed Pluto in Aquarius, and now it squares Uranus and Taurus. So yeah, again, um, there's something about pride, about, and it's not like egotistical pride here. I mean, it can be, but it's mostly of the confidence we have or the nurturing we've had. So there's something about our pride, an emotion about our pride that is again triggering a tense aspect regarding security, value system, and money. And the full moon in Leo does oppose naturally the sun in Aquarius. So again, about the future, about a group, um, and this is also coming first full circle from the new moon in Leo that we had on August 4th of last year. So just look up your text, emails. It may trigger a memory regarding that new moon on August 4th. That whatever you seeded then is coming full circle. It's coming to a fruition or an ending. And I always say I'm from the camp that I say, yes, full moons are full and they illuminate something hidden, but something is still hidden from you because it is the moon. It is at night. And yeah, the moon is hidden at night. So something is still hidden. Plus, Mars was retrograde in Leo and then moved back into Cancer. And now it's going direct in Cancer. And then it will go direct in Leo in those degrees of November and January. Um, well, mostly January because that's when it's stationed retrograde. So that's why Leo is quiet now. It's up against the Sun, Mercury, and Pluto in Aquarius. It's opposing those signs. So it's Mars in Leo is retrograde. Basically, it's still retrograde. It's still not done. It still does not have its say, and it's being opposed by three powerful um, objects. So it's biding its time. Okay. Um, So that's why I say always try to avoid any hardline decisions on full moons, let alone these other things that I mentioned about Leo. Just full moons, there's still something hidden from you. Um, so, and then, it ends in let me see, I was Mercury entering Pisces. So all this tension here is going to it's going to start smoothing out, especially with Mercury entering Pisces, because it'll be something like smoothing out any harsh arguments, having compassionate healing, and all that. It does though risk, Mercury in Pisces does carry the risk of like sweeping things under the carpet or getting mixed or confused messages. But you can listen to the February scope. I go into full detail about Pisces because it has a much bigger theme that colors really the entire year. So yeah, let me jump into each sign and hopefully you'll figure out what is happening with this full moon. So Aries, your focus has been on something about yourself, about your image, about the way you appear. And you've been also busy with a group, family, or a family matter. However, as the week starts, you do start feeling more energetic and optimistic. You want to have fun and maybe have lighthearted interactions. And with Venus in your sign, making a trine to the moon in Leo, you will find yourself at the center of some lovely attention. Um, it is either through these interactions or your psyche that triggers something unexpected regarding your job, money. But what I see for most of you, it's your value system. You're wanting freedom here. So this is most likely. That's why I say it's most likely about your value system. Uh, what you decide will not only be freeing to you and your psyche, but it also frees you from something in relation to joint finances, the mortgage, maybe a separation or a divorce, taxes or government benefits. Um, Or it can be exciting and free in relations to an engagement or a marriage or something serious about a love or a romance. Um, or again, it can be maybe about a child and something about money or values. Or it can be about a lover and a child. Well, your visions of your future, how you want your life to be, is triggering a freeing situation regarding a job or values. Okay. Aries is also in your sign, sextiling Mercury and trining the Sun. Um, or was it the Moon? We gotta look. Mm, mm, mm. I don't see it. Oh, it's on my other note. Sextiling. No, sextiling the Sun and being trined by the Moon. I apologize. Um, so, I mean, usually, like I mentioned earlier, Eris is a troublemaker, and she is Mars's sister, and Mars is your ruling planet, and she is in your sign. This is that's why I'm mentioning it for you, especially because um, it is all about you. Um, but like I mentioned in regards to like being the disruptor, here actually she is the release point. Okay, with these trines and sextile. So actually, and again, Aries, it seems like you're the go-to person for whatever crisis uh, or excitement or disruption that happens. And I know, like many of you are just have had it up to here about that, but you can't escape family, I guess, or children or what have you. But it's a good feeling because it's a trine and a sextile, um, and she is helping Mars out here because she is his sister. Okay, so a lover, romance, or child is opposed to, not necessarily to your vision, um, or a group or a friends or a circle, as much as maybe to your stance on a group or your vision of the future. Like, excuse me, like how you may be going about it, or a lover or child wanting a say in this new setup that you've been busy about, as they too are involved with their own new shifts. So it's about sharing control. Okay. This is what is triggering the full moon in your fifth house. So there may be an ending or a fruition, a culmination of your past efforts here from back on August 4th, when a new opportunity arose in your love or romance house, or you planted the seeds up and you've been working on. This also may be tied to his, her, or their money. It can be joint finances. In any case, until June, just have a backup plan regarding your money value, your job, as Uranus just woke up and knows his tour of Taurus is coming to an end in June. So he's going to be very active in your money house, okay, freeing you of any restrictions. Um, Towards the end of the week, you will want to retreat and be alone. Start thinking of this week's events because they are quite quite exciting, if not disruptive. Also, start paying attention to this weekend. Um, because you may start having really vivid dreams. They will be intuitive. I do also interpret dreams. If you guys had any questions on that, you can throw it into the comments section if you do get any dreams. I think I've covered everything. Yeah, I just wanted to say that's all I have to cover on Aries. So we're going to move on Taurus what the video ended. Anyway, yes, Taurus. Hope you're doing well. So we start off the week with you actually uh, really enjoying your alone time, your reprieve, and you really don't want to be in the middle of any dramas. But since you are really super busy about your career, um, about your status or with authority figures, and the pressure here is on you, as your focus is on maybe clients or a group, or a very close circle. There's emailing, texting, social media comes up a lot here for you guys. Um, and what is happening here is the way you are like taking in these communications, interpreting these conversations, or how you are using your words, how you're relaying your message, the tone you are using will somehow trigger um, something abrupt about your image or how you are seen. Okay, uh, which will maybe hit um, a security issue, maybe insecurity, or you know who you are, like you know you're you know your value, and thus wanting some kind of a freedom of how you are seen, how yeah you're seen, how your profile is recognized. So these, and I'm going to put them in air quotes, because for lack of a better word, these air quotes war of words or thinking might also be triggering some defensive posture regarding your family or from your family, regarding your image or how you're seen. The top issue for you, Taurus, is security. It's money, a job. But you may feel that you're alone in regards to your plans or ideas for security for your family. or you've been taking steps behind the scenes or in secret about a security matter. Um, um, and your vision of your future, of how you want to be seen in the future. It is all about your image, about security, family. Children might be in here for those of you who have children. And there is a T square with this full moon drawing all these areas in where it's tense. Your family or parents, a romance, like I mentioned, a child is in the mix of, air quotes again, a war of words regarding your career and how you are seen, which is triggering a culmination or an ending in your fourth house of home and family. It can be a fruition of your past efforts from back on August 4th when you planted the seeds. Um, and it's coming full circle on this full moon, or a new opportunity that you started. It has the ending here. I always mention on full moons, yes, they're full moon, they illuminate, yet they are still the moon. It is still at night, it's hidden. There is something that's still hidden, that you do not know the entire story about your Leo related house. And in accordance to your sun sign, it's your fourth house. It might fall somewhere else in your natal chart. Also, don't forget, Mars has yet to go over the degrees of Leo that it retrograded in. So as far as Leo is concerned, it's still retrograde. I mean, I know it's direct in Cancer, but it hasn't reached Leo yet. And Leo is being opposed by the Sun, Pluto, Mercury. So he's up against three, um, powerful objects. So he's biding his time now. He's muted. Um, and there might be issues that here in the home and family that Leo has yet to have his final say, is what I'm saying. So if you're going to make any decisions, try to wait till after this full moon, because it's not a clean full moon. There are hard aspects to it, um, and yeah, yeah. So take it easy on family. Um, and we also have Eris, Mars's sister, and she's in Aries, and Mars rules Aries. And Aries is your 12th house of secrets and behind the scenes and the past, for taking care of someone. And Aries is actually sextiling the sun and being trine by the moon. Um, so yes, you definitely are working behind the scenes or in secret on something. And it's and usually Aries is like a disruptor, a troublemaker, but she here comes to Mars's aid. This is it might if okay, so if you're partnered and if you're the girl, um, Aries can represent a female relative of your partner. If you're the man, it can be your female relative in regards to and something about your partner. So, like I said, this is a sextile and a trine. So there is a release point. That's what I want to say. God, I couldn't remember what it was, because it's in the midpoint of it, between an opposition and a square. So it's the release point. So that's who's um, coming to the aid here. So whatever Uranus is doing as a surprise, there will be the stabilizing trine from Mars to Saturn. I've discussed that in your February scope, so you can look that up, go into detail about it. And Aries this week, the release points. Okay, and then at the end of the week, Mercury will enter Pisces. So whatever dust storm is picked up here in the beginning of the week, and with this full moon, by the end of the week, we will be like, okay, there has to be compassion about this. There has to be healing, because these relationships are important. So we're going to have healing discussions, and also, with Mercury in Pisces, there can be sweeping things under the rug. Uh, if you listen to the February scope, I explained to you Aries Pisces is really terrified of pain. So it might be like, no, nothing happened. It's okay, whatever. Just have backup plans once Mercury enters Pisces, because those sorry about that. So that information, those emails, those textings are going to be repeated. But that's what the full moon is about. Taurus, I will talk to you in next week's scope. Hi, Gemini. Okay, so this is your weekly scope for the February 9th through the 15th. And if you listen to the intro, I give you a little background on this full moon, as well as I explain that I will really be just concentrating on the full moon and what triggers it. So early in the week, we do have Mercury in Aquarius squaring Uranus and Taurus. Now, Mercury is your ruler, so you do have that going for you. Um, and Aquarius is your ninth house of long distance travel, people at a distance, higher education, publishing, and the World Wide Web. So there's a lot of talking and thinking in this area. Um, and you also rule the third house of siblings, commuting, communication, extended family, social media too. Um, so there this discussion or thinking, um, maybe about a sibling, or with a sibling, or an extended family, maybe a cousin, and there's a group involved. There's a circle, a very close circle involved. Now, this is triggering something about your security or insecurity about um, a secret, or the past, or something about your spirituality and your faith. You're wanting freedom in that area. And oh, I'm sorry if I didn't mention, that's my pug snoring. He's like super close to me today. He just doesn't want to leave my side, and I don't have the heart to like push him away. So sorry about that. But yeah, so Uranus just hates any kind of restrictions or controls. So it doesn't. It releases things. It releases you of maybe this insecurity that you're having, or this issue about the past. But it does it in an unconventional way. Um, and that might be triggering this disruption with communication, with siblings, with a foreigner or about a foreigner. And this is culminating into the full moon in Leo. So there's an ending here. Gemini, there's an ending in your third house of communication, commuting, siblings, extended family, social media, and the such. And it has to do also in the mix is a lover, a romance, or a child, or maybe a creative project that you might be working on. Um, now, full moons are, like I said, endings. There might be an ending here, but they're also culmination, a fruition of our past efforts. And you can think back to August 4th with the new moon in Leo that is coming to a full moon here this week. So whatever you seeded back then regarding your third house is coming full circle here. Um, as it is also, let me just check my notes. As this full moon is also squaring Uranus in Taurus again, whatever this ending is or culmination is, it's triggering this security issue about the past, um, about a secret, about your faith, and there's money also involved here, something about money, and it naturally opposes the sun in Aquarius. So whatever you've been busy about the ninth house since November, and especially all of January. Um, it's opposing whatever efforts you're doing here. Or this opposition can be a good opposition where Aquarius is the genius of the zodiac. And it is on a much higher level of thinking, futuristic and forward thinking. You might have, uh, uh, what's the word? You might have this dream uh, about doing something unconventional regarding your past. There's something there that's irking you, and you want to act on it, but you're worried about a security issue. And Uranus will not tolerate any confining things that are holding you back. So, whatever this dust storm that kicks up, it is triggering Uranus's need for freedom and exposing whatever this secret is, or behind the scenes, or about the past, or maybe, like I said, maybe it's like an ingenious idea, and your spirituality and faith is involved. But yeah, it culminates in this full moon. Now, full moons are endings, yes, or like I said, mentioned, they're fruition. But if you can avoid any hardline decisions on this full moon, if it's an ending, try to avoid it until this dust storm is settled. Because even though the full moon illuminates things, it is still the moon. It is still hidden at night. There is still something hidden from you. That's one. The second is we still have Mars yet to go direct in Leo. So in Leo, it only did the forward and then retrograde, and now it's going to go forward again. So, and Leo is being opposed by Mercury, the Sun, and Pluto. So there's Leo's muted here. So your communication might be muted here. Because of a fear, and because of all these planets against Leo. So with a combination of all that, if you can, try to avoid any like hardline decisions, because then we have, and you'll be helped. You're not on your own here, because we have Eris in Aries, and Aries is your 11th house of groups, friends, associations. Um, is in Aries, and she's Mars's sister, and she's actually sextiling the sun and being trined by the moon. So she's helping out Leo here. She's trying to help out Leo here, because she knows there's still some piece of information still missing, that you will have in April when Mars enters Leo. And usually, Aries is the disruptor, is the crazy troublemaker, and she's in Aries, though, fire sign, me first fire sign. So it's about image. Again, there's this fear or insecurity about how you may be seen, if whatever this is behind the scenes that you want to act on, but there's some kind of trepidation. But Uranus will break you free of that. Okay. And then at the end of the week, Mercury does enter Pisces. So whatever this whole dust storm is, and then we have a Jupiter trine. Um, it'll start smoothing out. Everything starts to fall in place and it starts smoothing out. And Pisces is the compassionate sign. It is about your career and your status. Um, that's going to be smoothing a lot of things out. Um, and pay attention to the communication that starts Friday. Your dreams can be super vivid about this. Okay, Gemini, that wraps up the week. It's just, these two aspects early in the week that are surprising and maybe jarring. There's communication involved, and it triggers this full moon. Um, and we'll hope for the best. I'll talk to you in next week's scope. Hi, Cancer. Okay, Cancer. So I did give you a little background in the very beginning of the video on this full moon. It's called the snow moon. And this full moon is not a clean full moon. There is some squares and oppositions to it. Now, Leo is your second house of money, job, income, and your value system. It's an important house for you, and it has been a stop and go situation because of Mars being retrograde. Now it's turned direct, but it's turned direct in your sign, so something about your image, but it's yet to go direct in Leo. So whatever issue there is about your image or the way you are seen, once that clears up, then you will move full force forward regarding a job, income, or your value system. This week, what we have is right off the bat, there is a Mercury in Aquarius that will, excuse me, square Uranus and Taurus. So for you, Taurus is your 11th house of friends, groups, associations, um, or your hopes and visions of the future. And you do have, like I've mentioned before, you do have friends that have left your life, new friends that have entered your life. By the way, that's my pug. I'm sorry, he's snoring. He's super close to me today. I don't know, he's like needy, and I don't have the heart to push him away. Um, so yeah, about your friends and your groups. I mean, since 2018, you've kept being surprised and jarred regarding friends and groups, and you have left a very close group that you were close with, and maybe now you have another circle of friends that you're close with, but I think you might have already left that as well late last year. Um, in any case, Aquarius for you, Taurus, it is your eighth house of joint finances, taxes, um, inheritance, um, the taboo, government benefits, and intimacy. So there's discussion here. And for you Cancerians who have um, divorced or separated, there is tense discussion regarding joint finances or an inheritance. Or if you are engaged or getting married, naturally, there'll be serious discussions about that. But this week, there's these discussions in this area that is triggering something about an insecurity or a security issue about a friend or a group. You might not trust a friend or a group, and you don't want to be that way. You want to be free of that. So Uranus is, we never know what Uranus will do, but it looks like Uranus does not like any controls of any type. So whatever is restricting you regarding a group or friends, and it has to do with something about money or security, um, it is telling you not to worry about the security. It's wanting you to break free of whatever control there is regarding friends and groups. So that's how that is coming up. And then in the next day, the sun in Aquarius will square Uranus and Taurus. And whatever that discussion was or ingenious idea that is causing this um, acceleration of freedom regarding a friend of group, the next day it's being illuminated for you to see and for others to see what's going on here, which is culminating in this full moon on Wednesday. And this full moon has its roots in the new moon that was back on August 4th. Whatever you seeded back then is coming full circle. It's coming to a fruition or an ending. So you might be ending a job, or it might be you were hunting for a job that you wanted and you're seeing the culmination of your efforts here. But whatever it is, whether it's an ending or a culmination, I would say delay on any hardline decisions, especially during these few days of the full moon, because The full moon, like I said, it's under a lot of pressure. It's being opposed by the Sun, Mercury, and Pluto in Aquarius. So there's a lot of pressure on the moon. Plus, the moon being in Leo is also um, still is muted because it's still Mars is yet to go over the degrees it was retrograding in Leo. So Leo is still holding on. It's still does not have the last say of this ending. And plus, the moon, yes, does illuminate things, but it's still at night. The moon is still hidden. There is still something hidden from you. There's still a piece of the puzzle that's still missing regarding your Leo house. Also, Leo natally rules romance, a lover, a child, a creative project. Creative is huge in Leo, um, or pets or gambling. So that might be all in the mix. And because of these oppositions and these squares, it would be wise to delay any hardline decisions regarding your Leo related house because, like I mentioned, there is also this fear, this insecurity of some type. And after this dust storm that settles um, towards the end of the week when Mercury enters Pisces, then you have not so much clarity. I mean, Mercury's still going direct, but it will retrograde in Pisces, so there will be some repeat things going on. But um, during the end of the week, there's more a more fluid thinking and talking, more compassion, more healing. And also, we have Ceres conjuncting Mercury in Aquarius. So, Ceres is the planet of compromise and agreements. So, whatever this dust storm picks up, try not to make a hardline decision on this full moon regarding your second house of money, job, security, children in the mix, and all that, as there will be a lot of smoothing out and compromises to be had after it. Okay, that is all I wanted to touch base and just let you know, just give you a little peek of the areas that are involved and what other aspects are involved. So if take that into consideration before making any hardline decisions. Okay, Cancer, I'll talk to you in next week's scope. Hi, Leo. Big week for big week for you this week. Um, we have a full moon in your sign, and I gave you guys a little background on the full moon in the very beginning in the intro. But yeah, uh, we have a couple of hard aspects in the beginning of the week that is triggering this full moon. That's associated somehow with this full moon. So we have Mercury in Aquarius that is squaring Uranus and Taurus. So there's discussions, debates. They might be exciting, discussions, or they might be really heated arguments regarding a partner or with a partner. Um, and in regards to your vision of your future, of how you want your future to be. um, the exciting discussions might be an engagement going steady, or a marriage coming up. For others, it might be a controlling aspect of a partner and how to share control or power with a partner. um, but whatever the discussion is, it's triggering, it's squaring Uranus and Taurus. Now, Taurus is your 10th house of career, status, reputation, and authority figures. And there's some kind of insecurity or security issue regarding your status, your reputation, or with authority figures. And you're wanting to break free of whatever control there is in this area of your life. It might be, um, it might have to do with a child, an adult child, or um, like your partner has a child. Um, there's this push and pull back and forth with that, and you feel controlled in some way. And you're just for those of you who are having problems with these areas of your life, you feel that you're being controlled in some way. And Uranus is not going to have that. Uranus was retrograde until now, and it was pretty muted, so it was allowing all this control or manipulation or whatever of your career and status, and it will not have it any longer. It is going to break free, and this discussion in the beginning of this week is triggering this need to break free, this need for freedom, this need to share controls equitably, where each of you is elevated in somehow, not on the price of somebody else. So then, right after this discussion that's tense or disruptive, we have the Sun then in Aquarius square Uranus and Taurus. So it is being illuminated. This conversation, this thinking, this idea regarding a partner or from a partner is then being illuminated for you and the partner and others to see uh, whatever this controlling issue is that is triggering, again, a need to break free of any control. And this is leading to the full moon in your sign. Something about you, the way you appear, the way you are seen, or maybe something mundane as physical about you ends here on the 12th, and it also squares Uranus and Taurus. This square, the moon in Leo squaring Uranus and Taurus for you is good because it is breaking you free of this reputation or status that you're in that's being con- there's a controlling issue here, and there's a fear of security or something like that. So this square for you is not bad. It might be startling or jolting, but it's not bad. It's good. It's breaking you free. And naturally, this full moon will oppose Sun in Aquarius. So you're standing up for yourself. The way you've been with a partner, for those of you who have been in controlling situations, the way you've been here on this full moon will not allow any more control from a partner. Or you might be the one who was controlling a partner, and that ends here. Well, if it's not an ending, it's a culmination or fruition of your past efforts since specifically August 4th. We had a new moon in your sign. So if there were issues then, maybe you and a partner started to work on couples therapy or whatever, what have you. So that new moon, whatever you seeded back then, is now culminating to this full moon. It's come full circle. Um, because then we also have Ceres conjunct Mercury in Aquarius. So there is talk of compromise and some sort of way to go forward on this. Um, and we have Eris. She's Mars' sister. She is in Aries, sign Aries, excuse me. And that is your ninth house of foreigners, higher education, and publishing. And Mars has yet to go direct in your sign with the degrees that it was going retrograde in. So you still don't have the last say. You are holding back still some information because you're unsure of something, but you still have yet to say something. And when Mars goes direct in your sign, you will roar. You will roar. Um, and Mars is going to help you. Eris is going to help you. Eris is, like I said, mentioned if I didn't, she's Mars' sister. Um, and she is sextiling the sun and being trined by the moon. So that's the release point in astrological terms. It's the release point between the opposition from Aquarius and the square from Uranus. So you are having help here, and it might be a female relative. It might be your sister, or it might be it's a female, so it might be your adult daughter, adult child. Maybe it's a daughter, or even the next generation, because you rule all that. You rule the next generation and the generation after that. But she is helping you somehow. And after all this dust storm is kicked up and everybody like sort of backs off and tries to see that, yeah, maybe there was just a little bit too much, maybe taking it too far. We do have Mercury in Pisces, which will come in and smooth out any hurt feelings here, as it is Pisces is a compassionate sign, a forgiving sign, and something about spirituality and faith. So what I'm trying to say is, things do get smoothed out, but try to, I would say, I should say, try to avoid any hardline decisions during a full moon because full moons, yes, illuminate, but they also conceal because it is still the moon. It is still hidden at night, and plus Mars is still yet to go direct in your sign. So there's still yet for you to divulge information or receive information, and you don't want to make any hardline decisions when there's so much pressure on you. You've got the Sun, Mercury, and Pluto, fear, talk, and pressure all against you. It just doesn't make for a clear, rational thinking decision. So yeah, try if you can try to avoid it. Um, but I'm rooting for you. So I'm with Uranus and Taurus on this one. I want you to be free of this control you fear or that has been really stifling your energy. So in any case, um, let's hope for the best. But all these planets have your best interest at heart, and I'm rooting for you. All right, Leo. I will talk to you next week's scope. Hi, Virgo. Hope you're doing well. So I gave a little background story on the full moon because that's what I'm going to be concentrating on. And sorry, just a couple of aspects that will trigger this full moon. So for you, Virgo, We Leo is your 12th house of behind the scenes secrets of the past, of taking care of someone, of your spirituality and your faith and your need to be alone. So that's what Leo covers. Um, and you have been super busy with a project uh, in regards to your sixth house of health, habits, routines. Again, taking care of someone. Um, it's your sixth house of chaos and gossip as well, and you rule this house natally. So it's definitely for most of you, it's about your health, your psyche health, and your physical health. You've been working on getting that in sync, but there's been just a lot of commotion and motion and running around that you've had to be like a spring on your feet or burning the candle at both ends. Anyway, I go into full detail about that in your February scope. I don't want to take up too much of your time about that, but what I'm trying to say is there's communication, thinking, conversations that may be heated or may be exciting. That does not sit well with Uranus in Taurus. It's triggering some kind of an abrupt, surprising shift. Um, regarding your ninth house of foreigners, of long distance travel, people at a distance. Publishing, you may be really busy into publishing or the World Wide Web. Um, yeah, there's some abrupt shift here. Um, then we have the Sun in Aquarius that will square Uranus and Taurus. So whatever thinking, communication, conversation regarding your sixth house, um, as well as has a group or friends involved in this sixth house activity that you're busy with. Maybe you're being of service to a group or friends. You're working this network. Um, so whatever that communication was that triggered this abrupt or jarring action regarding your ninth house of foreigners and travel or publishing, then the next day, the sun in Aquarius does the same square. So the sun is illuminating for you and others to see something about your ninth house of foreigners and travel. So the square is a hard aspect, but it might be also jumpstarting something that's stagnant here, that might have been stagnant. And you're wanting some type of freedom regarding publishing or a foreigner or long distance traveling, higher education. You have a security issue about your ninth house. It could be about money. Maybe you don't have enough money for school or maybe traveling, or you're worried about money or security. But Uranus abhors any kind of control or fear. It will break you free of anything that you're scared of or that is being controlled here in the ninth house. And sorry, that's my pug. He's quite needy. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you earlier, but at the sake of you hearing snoring, and you'll be like, "What the hell is going on?" And if I forgot to mention it, he's just next to me and really close, so the mic is picking it up. So yeah, Uranus will break you free of some controlling issue with your ninth house that you have some kind of a fear of security in, um, and and your sixth house of routine is somehow helping with this. It's or a group hmm, is helping with this. So this is leading to the full moon in Leo, and like I mentioned, Leo is your 12th house of secrets. Now, this full moon can be an ending or a culmination, a fruition of your past efforts, specifically from August 4th. We had a new moon in Leo, and you either started working on a new opportunity behind the scenes, or taking care of someone, or something that was related to the past, or you seeded um, the desire to do so, and now it has come full circle. You're either reaping the rewards of your hard work, or it's like you've reached the end of the line of this thing that you may be working on behind the scenes. As the full moon squares Uranus and Taurus also. So again, um, your ninth house of foreigners, travel, higher education and publication. Um, and this square may be good. It jumpstarts something with this full moon ending. So it might trigger this freedom that you need and deserve regarding in the ninth house. The full moon also opposes naturally the sun in Aquarius. So whatever ending is in regards to the 12th house, your 12th house, is triggering some kind of maybe an emotion about pride. Um, Leo rules the fifth house of love, romance, children, and creativity. It is also the nurturing father, the father figure. um, and there's some kind of emotional letting go or culmination in any one of these efforts, any one of these areas. So it can be as mundane as taking care um, of a child that has like reached maturity and wants to be free of whatever, and you have to let go. Or you might be taking care of an elderly parent, but whatever your hectic schedule is requiring you to maybe um, delegate some of that responsibility, maybe to siblings, or maybe find another solution. But there is a full moon ending. There is an ending or a culmination of your past efforts here. And then Ceres comes in. Ceres conjuncts Mercury in Aquarius. That's not a tiddly little aspect. That's a strong aspect. Um, so this Ceres is the planet of compromise and agreements. So you are seriously discussing a better way forward, a compromise on something. And then Mercury at the end of the week will enter Pisces, and whatever dust storm was picked up here, whatever emotions and all that, it starts getting smoothed out. Um, I'm from the camp that always says, if you can avoid any hardline decisions during a full moon, there's better days to do that, especially when it's. I don't want to trigger anything by saying a volatile full moon. It's not really a volatile full moon. It's just there's surprises here. We never know what Uranus is going to do, and it's the moon, so there's emotion. So it's best to avoid hardline decisions during um, heated emotions with surprises in the mix. And plus, Mars is still retrograde in Leo. It's yet to, well, I mean it's direct in Cancer now, but it's yet to go direct in Leo. Those degrees that it retrograded in back in December. So there's still another piece of information that's missing, um, as well as full moons do illuminate, yes, but they're still at night. They still hide things. There is still something hidden from you. So just if you can, try to um, avoid any decisions on this full moon. And then look towards the weekend. It is going to calm down a little bit, and you might have dreams, really vivid dreams. All right, Virgo, if you have any questions, you can put them in the comments. I will speak to you in next week's scope. Libra, hi. So we have a full moon in Leo this week, and it is the star of the show as it is has some hard aspects to it, and some hard aspects prior to it that's triggering this full moon. So let's talk about that first. So we have Mercury in Aquarius, which is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, and gambling. So there's discussion, communication, debate, thinking, agreements, disagreements here in your fifth house that is not sitting well with, sorry, Uranus in Taurus. Sorry. So Taurus is your eighth house of joint finances, um, taxes, inheritance, government benefits, and intimacy. Um, so for you partnered Libras and you guys are solid as a rock and you're happy and everything's go lucky, whatever. This can be an exciting news regarding maybe a child and your joint finances. Maybe you're you know, just found out. I'm sorry, that's my pug that's snoring. Sorry, because you may have just skipped to your side. So I did mention it in the beginning. He's just really super needy today. So he's like stuck to me and I don't have the heart to like push him away. Um, and pugs just like stick their nose in like blankets, and that's why this song. Anyway, so yeah, you partnered Libras, and you guys are solid as a rock, and everything's peachy keen. This is just some exciting news regarding a romance or a child or a pet, lovely pets, or a creative project that maybe you guys are working on. And this square to your eighth house of joint finances and intimacy. I mean, it could be you found out you're pregnant, and yay, that changes intimacy to more intimacy, or you start talking about getting pregnant, and there's more intimacy because a square is yes, it's a hard aspect, but it also jumpstarts something, can be beneficial um, for that group. Now, for the Libras who are going through a divorce or separation, um, or what have you, there may be children involved, and naturally, with divorce or separation, there might be custody discussions and what have you. And if that happens, yes, this is a heated debate or an argument, and it's triggering some kind of security issue. Um, I mean, it is about joint finances, taxes, government benefit, but there's also a security issue. Something or somebody's being stubborn about joint finances because of a security issue. Okay, um, and and Uranus will not have that. Basically, Uranus does not like any rules or restrictions, and Uranus is not the planet you compromise with. Uranus just says no. This is happening, and it's happening now. So something jolting, something abrupt will happen regarding joint finances um, and security, money, job, income. Uh, or an inheritance. It could be talk about inheritance, because then the next day we have the Sun in Aquarius that will square Uranus and Taurus. So that discussion, thinking, or agreements or disagreements will be illuminated for you and others to see exactly what this is about, or what this insecurity issue is about regarding joint finances, which leads to this full moon in Leo. Um, if I didn't mention, Leo is your 11th house of groups, friends, associations, your visions of how you want your future to be. Um, and this full moon is an ending um, of one of these things or a combination of them. Or it can be a culmination of your past efforts. And this full moon's origin is was the new moon on August 4th of last year. So whatever you seeded then or started on regarding this eighth house of intimacy and joint finances is coming for full circle this week and is ending or coming to a fruition. Um, it will also square Uranus and Taurus. So again, some kind of a need to be free of whatever control issue there is regarding joint finances and your visions of the future. Or it could be a group that's involved. As well as this full moon in Leo naturally opposes the sun in Aquarius. So, whatever ending there is here um, is being opposed by a romance or a lover or a child that's involved somehow here, or maybe even a pet. Maybe there's a gambling issue. And that's why there's these opposing factors with your money houses. Um, in any case, whether it's an ending or a culmination or what have you, I always say try to avoid any hardline decisions during a full moon, because yes, it is a full moon. It is much brighter than like a new moon or a quarter moon, but it is still at night. The moon is still hidden. There is still something hidden from you, and lest we forget as well, Mars has yet to go direct in Leo of those degrees that it was retrograding in. So Leo here is still muted. There's still, and because Leo is being opposed by the Sun, by Mercury, by Pluto in Aquarius, it is up against these three serious planets, and it's getting slowed down by Mars, still not uh, going forward in those degrees. So Leo still is biding its time. There's still something there that you're not aware of. There's still a piece of the puzzle that's there. Um, and because of all this heated debate that's going on in the beginning of the week, naturally there's emotions involved, and there's chaos and arguments and security issues and all that. It would behoove you to just give yourself a couple of days before you make any hardline decisions about an ending here. Okay, because at the end of the week, we do have Mercury entering Pisces. And even before that, we have Mercury in Aquarius, semi-sextiling Neptune in Pisces. So there's going to be some apologies or compassionate communication that leads to some kind of healing. Because when Mercury enters Pisces, it's just a much gentler, more fluid communication that has some kind of healing with compassion in it. Of course, it can also be confusing communication because it's Pisces, but on the whole, it is a very there's a word that I can't remember now, but it's a very healing aspect. So yeah, that's my takeaway from that for you guys, is that there is these tense aspects regarding love, romance, children, and your eighth house of joint finances and intimacy, and then this full moon in your 11th house, or a culmination. So that is what dominates the week, Libra. If you have any questions, you can post it in the comments, and I will talk to you next week, Scopes. Take care. Hi, Scorpio. So, Scorpio, we have in the very beginning of this week, we have communication, discussions, ideas, maybe even genius ideas, agreements, disagreements regarding Aquarius, and that is your fourth house of home, family, and your parents. So, oh, and by the way, that's my pug snoring. I'm sorry if you didn't listen to the intro. I do mention it. He's like super needy today, and he's just stuck to my side, and don't have the heart to push him away. So sorry about his snoring. In any case, as I was saying, so there's a lot of um, either exciting or heated conversation with or about your family that is squaring Uranus and Taurus. So it's not sitting well with your partner, whether it is your business partner, personal partner, or a platonic partner. You're wanting some kind of a freedom from a partner or within a partnership, and up to now you've been biding your time regarding this partnership, whatever this partnership is. But now Uranus is all awake, and whatever triggers it, it will trigger an abrupt or jarring surprise regarding a partnership. And what's triggering this week is this communication um, with your family or about your family. Um, and then the next day, the sun in Aquarius, again, your fourth house of home and family, now the sun will square Uranus and Taurus. So whatever the communication, discussion, or agreement was, now it is illuminated for you and for everyone to see, your family, your partners, and so forth. And remember, it's not only personal or partner or business partnership. The seventh house, it also includes platonic partnerships. So anyone who really knows you well can be a partner. Your mother can be a partner. Your cousin can be a partner. Your friend can be a partner. So just keep that in mind. And this is all culminating and leading to this full moon in Leo. Excuse me. And this full moon has its roots. Sorry, I was trying to write something. This full moon has its roots in the new moon on August 4th of last year. You either seeded something there, um, or you were given a new opportunity. But whatever it was, and whatever you've worked on, it's now the ending. It's like it's ending of its shelf life, or it is the fruition of your efforts here for the past 6 months. Um, and it is also squaring Uranus and Taurus again, something about a security, an insecurity about a partner or from a partner. Um, and Leo also rules the fifth house of love, romance, children, and creativity. And Taurus is a a fixed sign as well as Aquarius. So and Taurus is really famous for being stubborn. So maybe there's an issue that has some kind of stubbornness in it. But Uranus will not have you being controlled um, in any way, and especially not by a partner. So it craves freedom above all else. So it is going to free you of whatever restriction there is about a partnership, especially about a security issue or an insecurity issue. And the full moon, I always say, try to avoid decisions on a full moon, because the full moon, yes, it's brighter than a half moon or a new moon. It does illuminate, but it is still at night. It is still hidden. There is something still that you do not know regarding your Leo related house. Plus, Leo is being opposed by the Sun, by Mercury, by Pluto in Aquarius. So it is muted. It's not as proudful as it is. It's questioning itself. So it might be withholding information. And Mars is yet to go over Leo's degrees that it retrograded in. So Leo does not have, still has the last word that it wants to say. There's still a piece of the puzzle missing. So what I'm trying to say is, because it's the moon, there's emotions. Because there's this hullabaloo of whatever disagreements or arguments or debates that's going on, and because of you know Mars and Leo being muted, you just don't want to make hardline decisions on such a afflicted full moon, because then you might regret it or what have you. But definitely, as far as any controlling issue or insecurity issue about a partner or regarding a partner, that will be taken care of this week. Uranus will not have that. But then afterwards, we also do have Ceres conjunct Mercury in Aquarius. Ceres is the planet of compromise and agreements and a new way of going forward, sharing controls. Um, and it's not a minor aspect; it's a conjunction, and it is at 25 degrees. So that's well within the 24 degrees of the full moon. Um, and plus, at the end of the week, we do have Mercury entering Pisces. So it is going to start. After this dust storm settles, then we do have some healing conversations, some agreements, some compromising from both sides, from all areas. So just try to avoid a hardline decision until you see what happens by the end of the week. And when Mercury does go into Pisces, it suits your sign very well, as you are a water sign. So you might start having really vivid dreams. Pay attention to those dreams. They will be intuitive. All right, Scorpio, I will talk to you soon. Hello, Sagittarius. Hey, so we're talking about this week. I did. Oh, by the way, that's my pug snoring. But this today he's like super needy, so he's like stuck to me, and I don't have the heart to like push him away. Um, so yeah, so this week is I'm really talking about the full moon in Leo because it's quite important, and it's a sticky full moon. It's not a clean, smooth full moon, and there's a couple of jarring things that are triggering it. So right in early beginning of the week, we do have Mercury in Aquarius squaring Uranus and Taurus. So um, Aquarius for you is your third house of communication, commuting, communication devices, siblings, cousins, extended family, any language barriers, vision, social media is pretty huge here. Um, and because it's the third house, natally Gemini does rule the third house, so a partner might be involved as well. And Aquarius in general, natally rather, does rule groups, friends, and associations. So there's a lot of talking here between you and these characters, or maybe between you and somebody else about these other people. But there's a lot of communicating, discussion, agreements, disagreements, or what have you. Now, whatever these discussions are, it's triggering a response from Uranus and Taurus. Now, excuse me, Taurus is your sixth house of health, habits, routines, scheduling, taking care of someone. It's your house of chaos and gossip. And you are, well, you've been, you know, this area of your life has been abruptly shifting. It's like feast or famine. But lately, you've had a reprieve here because Uranus was retrograde. Now, Uranus is up and alive, so your schedule and your routine is going to change on a dime. But there is also some kind of a security issue here or insecurity. It has to do. It can be about a job or income or what you want to do as far as a job. Definitely, your job, you will not be satisfied, and you will not stay in a job that's not unique, um, and you have freedom in. Most of you are not working, or half of you are not working, or you're working something very unique, or you've started up a new business, or you have your own business, and there's something unique about that. In any case, whatever this discussion that happens that's triggering this insecurity or control issue, Uranus is breaking you free of that insecurity, of that control, because Uranus will not have any control factors. It does not tolerate it. And it's saying, don't worry about security. Don't worry about the security because that will, security or money, because that will is taken care of, or it will, come with Mercury's ingenious ideas with Aquarius. That's the feed that's coming. Um, and these discussions or agreements might, this square might be a good square where it's like a surprising, like, wow, um, whatever you're doing with your third house is netting you this surprise aspect regarding um, your health habits, your job, your security issue. That might be good. So the next day, then the sun will in Aquarius will square Uranus and Taurus. So after this discussion, and this discussion might have been behind the scenes or something. Well, after that, the sun illuminates for you to clearly see what is being discussed or whatever ingenious idea there is, and also others are able to see that this discussion um, is the way to go forward. This ingenious idea is the way to go forward as it's triggering this freedom you need regarding your health and habits and routines. This is all culminating to a full moon in Leo, Sagittarius. So there is an ending or a culmination of your past efforts. So, oh my God, this is like the second video that I've randomly yawned. I don't remember what the other sign was in the other video. I think it was Virgo, and now it's you. I don't know. Sorry about that. So, yeah, it's an ending in Leo in your Leo house or a culmination of your past efforts. Now, Leo for you is your ninth house of foreigners, foreign places, people at a distance, long distance traveling, higher education, publishing, and the World Wide Web. So you seeded something here because this full moon has its roots in the new moon on August 4th of last year. You either seeded something there or you were you entered into a new opportunity regarding your ninth house. Uh, well, it has come full circle this week, and you're seeing the fruits of your labor, or it's the shelf life is ending here. However, this full moon, like I said, is not completely, it has some sticky issues to it where the full moon will square Uranus in Taurus, and it will oppose, well, this opposition is natural. It's opposing the sun in Aquarius. Again, it's squaring your health habits and your routine and a sense of security. Um, and then it opposes your third house of communication. All right, so what you want to do on a full moon, yes, the full moon illuminates because it's full. However, it's still the moon, it's still at night. So that means there's still something hidden from you regarding this ending or this culmination. Plus, Mars is yet to go over the degrees that it retrograded in Leo. So Leo still has a thing or two to say still um, about your ninth house. And we have the Sun, Mercury, and Pluto opposing Leo. Three powerful planets. So Leo is he's taking the low road right now. He's muted. He's biding his time until his time is to shine. And Leo is a very proud sign. You can bet when Mars enters Leo direct, I think it's in April or May, he's got a lot to say about everything because Leo can read a room like no other, and you won't know he's doing that. So what I'm trying to say is because this full moon has these squares and oppositions, and the moon, it's emotions. There's emotions involved. There's just a lot of tense things going around this full moon. Try to avoid any hardline decisions, um, even if the other stuff wasn't going on. You just don't want to make hardline decisions when there's so much emotion and things going against you or this house rather. Because then at the end of the week, oh, right away, then after that we have Mercury in Aquarius, which will no, that's not the Mercury on the 13th. Mercury in Aquarius will semi-sextile Neptune in Pisces. So there's some healing conversations coming after, especially starting Friday. Mercury will enter Pisces, and there's a lot of nurturing, healing, compassionate discussions that will be had then. Um, and hopefully things will get smoothed out. But as far as Uranus and Taurus, Uranus is not it's not going to wait for any healing. It's going to do what it's going to do, and usually we don't know what that'll be. So yeah, put on your seatbelts, but try to avoid hardline decisions. All right, Sagittarius, I'll talk to you soon. Hi, Capricorn. Capricorn, we have a full moon in Leo this week, and we have a couple of hard aspects right before it that actually triggers this full moon. Well, I don't know if it triggers it, but it is aspecting it. So right in the beginning, we have Mercury in Aquarius that will square Uranus and Taurus. So for you, Aquarius is your second house of job, income, and your value system. Um, and there's a lot of talking, learning, discussions, maybe exciting ones, maybe heated arguments or debates. Um, yeah, regarding your job, your income, or you might be like it might be part of your job, like maybe a customer service rep or something that requires you to talk a lot or communicate. So that is squaring Uranus and Taurus. Now, sorry, Taurus is your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, pets, our favorite pets, and gambling. So, whatever these discussions are regarding your job, income, or maybe even your value system, there's something you value that you're having discussions about. It's not sitting well with either a lover or a romance or a child or a creative project you're working on uh, that you might have been working on. Um, so Uranus will not settle for any control issues in any part of it of the zodiac sign it hits. Currently, it's hitting Taurus, and it will free Taurus of any restrictions. So if you are having any restrictions or controlling issue, Uranus will not have it. It will break you free. If you're the controlling factor, um, well, what you're you have some sort of insecurity or security issue regarding one or a component of your fifth house, and there's besides that there's control here, and you're wanting to break free. Uranus is obliging that, and it's saying don't worry about security. You need to be free because it's your house of fun. You can't be restricted here with having light fun and whatever. Um, But there's some serious discussion about values and something about your fifth house and insecurity. So that's going on. Then the next after that, then the sun in Aquarius will square Uranus and Taurus. So that discussion might have been behind the scenes or with others. Well, then after that, it is illuminated for you and everyone to see exactly what the problem is or what is going on here. Um, and this is leading to this full moon on Wednesday in Leo. And Leo is your eighth house of intimacy, joint finances, taxes, government benefits, inheritance issues, or just inheritance, and something about the past. Uh, so, so there's an ending here, or a culmination of your past efforts, a fruition of what you've put in the work for. And it is the originator is back on August 4th when we had the new moon in Leo. So you started something there about intimacy or joint finances, um, or you seeded something regarding this area of your life, and you've been working on it for the past 6 months. Well, here it is either it has passed its shelf lifetime, or you are reaping the rewards of your labor. Um, and But it's still not a clean full moon, as it was opposing. Where am I? There I am. As it is squaring Uranus and Taurus. Again, it is not sitting well with a romance, a lover, or a child, um, or a creative project. And it is also opposing the Sun in Aquarius. So whatever is being illuminated, um, it is also this full moon ending or culmination is not sitting well with your value system. Maybe you feel guilty, or maybe you feel like it will hinder your efforts. Again, it's about money, it's about security. Well, it's natural. You have your eighth house involved in your second house, so you've got all that involved. Um, but this, like I said, besides these oppositions, full moons, yes, they're full and they're bright, much brighter than a half moon, and it illuminates. But it's still at night. The moon is hidden. There's still something hidden from you. You do not have the full picture in your Leo related house. Um, and Leo is being opposed by Mercury, the Sun, Pluto, in Aquarius. So it's muted. It has all these heavy duty planets against it. So it's like biding its time. And then we still have Mars yet to go over the degrees that it retrograded in when it was in Leo. So there's still another piece of the puzzle that you're going to receive later on. If you can avoid any hardline decisions on a full moon, try to do that. Um, as their full moons are also emotional. Um, I can just see an Aquarius. Not again. No more emotions. Oh, I feel for you. But as far as Uranus and Taurus, yeah, Uranus will not tolerate any kind of control issues, so that you're not going to be able to avoid. But if you can avoid any decisions on a full moon, try to do that. Because then at the end we have Mercury in Aquarius, semi-sextile in the North Node in Pisces. Um, as well as we have Mercury in Aquarius, semi-sextile Neptune in Pisces, and then Mercury entering Pisces. So at the end of the week, we have some Jupiter movement, but like I said, I want to just concentrate on the full moon. So if there was any heated arguments, blow-ups, or debates, at the end of the week, um, there is maybe not clear communication, but much more calmer communication, where there's um, whatever the decision was or whatever ending there was, there is healing that will come. And also, you might start having like vivid dreams when Mercury enters Pisces. So look for that. And that is all for this week. It was just a quick scope. I'll talk to you guys next week. Hi, Aquarius. So, Aquarius, we have a full moon in Leo this week. And we have a couple of aspects. Right before that, there are some hard aspects that are contributing or triggering this full moon. So, right off the bat, we have Mercury in your sign, squaring Uranus in Taurus. So, communication, discussion, debating, um, and what have you regarding your image, your persona, your profile, how people see you, is not sitting well with something about your home and your family. Your home and your family. There's a security or insecurity issue um, with your family about your profile or your image, or you have um, an insecurity about your image or your profile that you might think your family might be put off by. Um, So whatever this debate, it's triggering that. And Uranus is the planet of shock and surprise, and you're used to this energy. He is your ruler, so there's some mutual reception here, as well as Mercury rules Gemini, and it's an air sign, your fellow air sign. So you've got a lot on your side as well. Aquarius, if you listen to the February scope and your year ahead, you are hosting Pluto now. I mean, besides there's the Sun and Mercury in your sign as well, but Pluto is in your sign, so you are going to exude this powerful um, persona, this confidence. You're going to exude that. Just people will see that because that's what Pluto is doing. Um, and here with communication, either you are communicating or about your image. Now, so if you are confident, you're going to speak with authority, and it'll match, the the authority that Pluto is giving you, the power that Pluto is giving you. But if you are standoffish, or maybe, I don't want to say timid, maybe just holding back a little with your communication, it's not it's not meshing with the way you appear. So there might be that issue there. I really don't see it as an issue. But there might be that discussion. Otherwise, this is talk about the way you appear, your profile, your essence, and it is not sitting well with your family, your home, your family, your parents. It is squaring against that. And you've had a reprieve in this area the past few months as Uranus was retrograding, but you've had your roller coaster ride in your fourth house of home and family, and there is something about a security issue or an insecurity about home and family, about parents. Now, with this new you, it might be triggering an insecurity with them about you. Uh, you know, that might be it. Or again, you might not be stepping into your power because you sense a disruption in your home and family. Sorry about the siren. But Uranus is your ruler, and you're quite familiar with Uranus. You're used to the energy. Uranus will not tolerate any kind of fear or insecurity or control here. It will break you or your family out of this controlling feature of insecurity or what have you. So that is what's going on in the beginning of the week, because then the next day the Sun in your sign will square Uranus and Pluto. So whatever talk, discussion, heated debate that you had regarding your image and family, uh, the Sun then illuminates for you to see clearly what it's about, as well as others can see clearly what this is about. And this is setting up this full moon in Leo, um, on the 12th. Leo is your seventh house of partners, of personal partnerships, marriages, business partnerships, any kind of platonic partnerships. Um, your brother can be a partner if they know you really well. Sorry, that's my pug snoring. He's like super needy today, so I can't push him away. He just sticks to me today. Um, a friend can be a partner. Someone who knows you really well is a partner. So this is an ending here, Aquarius, in your partnership house. Now, it can also be a culmination of your past efforts, with a partner, because this full moon originates in the new moon we had on August 4th of last year. Then you either had an opportunity or you seeded something about a partnership then, and you are partaking in the fruits of your labor for the past 6 months on this full moon. Um, the only thing is, it's not a clean moon. It is squaring up again to Uranus, to your ruler in Taurus. So whatever this ending is regarding a partnership is not um, is is jumpstarting some. It's either due to a home and family situation, or a home and family situation is not not agreeing with a decision about a full moon, about an ending, or about like maybe the next level, next step, because you've been working on this partnership and you're ready to take it to the next level. It can be either or, as well as naturally, the full moon is in Leo, so it will oppose your sun. Jesus, I'm in Chicago, and of course, I mean, at least maybe a few hours in between with these sirens. Jeez, sorry about that. So the full moons, they do illuminate, yes, but they're still at night. They're still hidden. So there is still something hidden from you in regards to this partnership. Um, And the full moon is, like I mentioned just now before these sirens, is opposing the sun in your sign. Um, so there's a control issue here, Aquarius. Either you are not liking this partner's control issue, or you might be, because you have Pluto in your sign, you might be trying to control or manipulate a partnership. And uh, not any of my listeners do that, but you may, and you may have your reasons for. And Uranus is not going to, again, it's not going to tolerate that, even though it's in your home and family. And this might be just because your home and family, your fourth house is your parents, your home and family, and the seventh house is your partner. So Uranus is not going to tolerate any control issues, and it's going to break free whatever control issue there is here because it's healthier. But try to avoid any hardline decisions on a full moon, on any full moon, because it's the moon. It's emotional, and besides, you don't do emotions. No, I'm just joking. Plus, because we have these squares and oppositions and these verbal, arguments, maybe it's just not a good idea to make any hardline decisions during a full moon with all that's going on. So try to postpone it if you can, a few days when you can think and see clearly, because then we will have, excuse me, we do have Ceres in in your sign, and it will conjunct Mercury in your sign. So there will be talk of compromise, or maybe, well, you know what? It's your partnership house, and uh, you're going to have Pluto in your sign. So if there is a problem, and if you try to work it out here, um, well, I'm not going to say that either. Sorry. Just try to relax for a few days before you make a really hardline decision about a partnership, Aquarius, okay? Because at the end of the month, we will have Mercury in Pisces, and there will be a little bit less emotional outbursts and more, smooth communication. All right, I'll talk to you next week. Hi, Pisces. Pisces, we have a full moon in Leo. I think for you, it's good. it's it's a nice area to have a full moon. That and the third house is pretty nice. But we do have a couple of surprising or tense aspects right before it, which is contributing to this full moon and aspecting this full moon. So early on, we do have Mercury in Aquarius, sorry, that is squaring Uranus in Taurus. And Aquarius is your 12th house of the past, of secrets, of behind the scenes, taking care of someone, um, faith and spirituality. It also rules natally, Aquarius does, groups, friends, and circles. So you have been busy behind the scenes, working on something, or you're starting to and very much enjoy being alone, or wanting more and more to be alone and to be all up in your headspace because you're getting these genius ideas and empowering uh, ideas while you're reviewing the past, something about the past and the future. Um, so there might be um, there might be something that you're also working on behind the scenes that you're keeping really close to your chest, but there's conversations, agreements, disagreements, going back and forth uh, with maybe a group or a very, very close circle. Okay. But it is squaring Uranus in Taurus. So you're super busy with the neighborhood, commuting, communication, um, siblings, cousins, extended family. You're running back and forth, doing errands. You have like schedules to meet. You're super busy. You've had a reprieve for the past 6 months with this, but now you're starting to get really busy again with scheduling and appointments. Your health. Well, no, not your health. This is your third house. So, yeah, communication and commuting. Cars. Something about cars. Um, so yeah, so you're wanting to be free of something regarding your third house. So commuting, communication, the neighborhood, siblings, and extended family, and you're hesitating because of a security issue or an insecurity issue. Um, oh my God, this is like the fourth siren. Okay, how can it be this? I don't know. I don't know who's dying out there. Or who's? I'm gonna wait for it to pass. And it's so hard to like re-record. I have to go through all these, whatever. Anyway, bear with me. Sorry. Um, yeah, where were we? And that's my pug. Today he's super needy. He's like stuck to my leg and he will not move. And I feel really bad pushing him away. So yeah, I've got these two things to deal with. Anyways, though there's you're wanting some kind of freedom, some sort of freedom, um, in your third house, but there's a security issue or an insecurity issue, or it has to do with your with money or a job maybe, and you're too worried about that. Well, Uranus does not does not do he doesn't like any controlling issues, especially if it's in reference to um, security or what have you. He just doesn't like hostage situations. So something is going to happen. We usually don't know because it's Uranus. It's the planet of shock and surprise, where he's going to free you of whatever it is that's restricting you in your third house. Okay, and it is squaring with something behind the scenes that you're working on. It's not, these two areas are rubbing up against each other. So you might, like, maybe you're wanting to be alone, but you have to do these errands, and you want to break free of that routine, but you have this money or security issue. That's why you don't want to break free, but Uranus is breaking you free. Because then the next day, the sun in Aquarius will square Uranus in Taurus. So whatever genius idea or communication that might have triggered this freedom call, now it's the sun. It's illuminating for you and others to see how this ingenious idea might free you of this neighborhood or routine or communication, extended family. Well, then this is um, setting up this full moon in Leo. And Leo is your sixth house of health habits, routines, scheduling, taking care of something. Yeah, Pisces, this has to do with something about your job. I believe you might either be quitting, losing a job, starting a new job, or getting a message or a phone call about a job or a change of job. And you've stuck to it so far because you were fearing something about security or money. And Mercury here is saying, Mercury and Uranus here are saying, do not worry about the security thing. Don't worry about the money thing, because that will be taken care of through Mercury's mercantile, what's that word? Transactional abilities. And it's in Aquarius, so genius transactional abilities. Um, Uranus is saying, go for the gusto. Don't be afraid. And something here will do that, because then we have a full moon in Leo. And your schedule, whatever schedule it is ending here. Um, Otherwise, it might be a culmination of your past efforts. And because this full moon has its origin on August 4th, which was a new moon in Leo. So since then, you either got an opportunity or you seeded and started working on an opportunity for a new schedule, a new routine, um, a new health, fitness, maybe thing, which now you are reaping the rewards of, if it's a culmination. Otherwise, it's an ending of a certain schedule or health situation. Um, but since since it is a full moon, it's going to be emotional, of course. But the moon doesn't really do that well in Leo, and the moon is hidden. It is at night, so there is still something hidden from you regarding this full moon, regarding this ending, regarding this culmination. And we are yet to have Mars go over the degrees of Leo that it retrograded in. So that'll be coming up in April, May, and plus we've got the Sun, Mercury, and Pluto in Aquarius opposing Leo. So Leo is muted here. It is like keeping low, laying low till all this weather passes and until Mars enters its sign, where it will go full blast. And Leo is the lion. It's ruled by the sun. It's very powerful, but it is laying low here. So what I'm trying to say is, try to avoid any hardline decisions regarding an ending, if it's an ending. Um, in your Leo related house. Otherwise, if it's a culmination, then naturally it's great. It can also have to do with something about a child, a romance, or a creative project, because Leo rules all that. Okay. Um, and then by the end of the week, the Mercury rather, will enter your sign. So whatever, if there was any dust storm that was picked up, any harsh words, any things like that, you will have the gift of gab by the end of the week, and your gift of gab is very healing. It's very compassionate. People listen, like, hang on to every word you say. So it will be very nice. It'll be smoothed out if there was any disruption, any heated, words flying left and right. All right, Pisces. I will. This was just a quick scope. Um, as I told you, I will be doing like light scopes, but full, detailed monthly. So I will. Yeah, I'll be talking to you for next week's light scope.